Welcome to a special budget edition of the Rice Report. I'm going to take this opportunity to actually come to you from a different setting, the dais, where we make a lot of the decisions, but also where the County Council unanimously in a 9-0 vote decided to approve a $4.8 billion budget.
All those in favor of adopting those items?
What this budget means to our community is vast in terms of the number of important resources that will be provided to those who need it, but also additional funding to make sure that we remain innovative and forthright in terms of the things that we're trying to accomplish to make Montgomery County one of the best places to live in these great United States. And while this budget year might have not been as difficult as some of the other ones, it was still a great opportunity for us to start to prepare and innovate as we look at how we're going to address some of the upcoming needs for this county. One of the great things in our Department of Transportation that we were able to accomplish was a Meet the Mark service, which allows for us in Clarksburg to be able to bring those residents down via free ride-on transportation to our Mark station in Germantown. It's very exciting because what it does is it encourages us to use mass transit, also being reflective of the reality that the Corridor City Transitway is still years out, and we need to make sure that we're encouraging our folks to use mass transit alternatives. When we look at our Health and Human Services budget, we have a number of great and innovative things that we've done there, from increasing the number of health service workers that we have, both with our children as well as from our psychiatric needs. And one of the things that we were able to do is add an additional $400,000 to increase the number of mammograms and colorectal screenings that are performed by Montgomery Care, all making sure that we are responsive to some of the challenges that some of our most vulnerable citizens are facing. And of course, with our environment, we wanted to make sure that we were responsive to some of our Down County residents that were complaining about tree stumps and tree pruning. We've got it all incorporated in this budget. There's something in there for everyone. But what I wanted to do is make sure that you had an opportunity to see it firsthand. So I want you to take a trip with me as we go throughout my district to talk about what this budget means for you and your community. So I'm standing out here in front of the new Clarksburg Bennigan's, and it's a great opportunity for us to talk about what's going right in Clarksburg, but also the many important opportunities that we have to do even more. This might be the first sit-down restaurant in Clarksburg, but I want there to be many more, and we also want to see more economic and commercial development. And at our next stop, we'll take a look at some of the other development that's happening here in Clarksburg. So one of the things that I've been talking about that I'm really excited about is future retail here in Clarksburg. And as you can see from this sign, that's exactly what we're delivering on, and making sure that we can have many economic development opportunities when it comes to the Clarksburg community. So as you can see, we've got people that are working here, developing, delivering on that we promised the Clarksburg community. A grocery store and mixed retail right here in our Clarksburg community. We're going to continue to hope that we build on this and allow for many other opportunities to have great establishments just like this Village Center, ones that represent places to shop, eat, people to get together, and also, most importantly, jobs. So when projects like this, it means a lot, I'm sure.
Oh, it helps. Big help, yeah.
Excellent. So today I'm standing here in front of Butler's Orchard and wanted to talk to you a little bit about our EBT SNAP benefits that we incorporated in our recently approved budget. And what this does is allows for some of our lower income residents to be able to buy groceries and locally grown produce at our grocery markets. But one of the other things is that it also allows them to utilize our farm markets, one of the things that of course is grown in our agricultural reserve right here in Clarksburg and Germantown. Part of the challenge is that we have not been able to make it affordable nor viable for many of those folks to be able to utilize this program at some of these venues. And this is a large one, but imagine our smaller farms that are struggling to make a living. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to incorporate our EBT SNAP benefits with all of our farmers markets, because it's going to be really important for them to utilize our locally grown food and also support all of our farmers markets in our agricultural reserve. Late last year, right at this intersection of Germantown Road and Wisteria Lane, a young woman was killed. Christina Morris Ward, a Seneca Valley High School student, was hit by a car as she was trying to cross over Germantown Road. We wanted to respond and promise both family and the community that we would do something about this unfortunate incident. I'm happy to report that the County Council has incorporated an additional $100,000 as a part of a pedestrian outreach campaign to make sure that we minimize incidents like this here in Montgomery County. With the support of the county executive from his initial comments about how important this was, to the County Council and adding this additional funding that's extremely necessary to make sure that we're educating our children and drivers to make sure that they look out for each other. For example, the sign that you see behind me is one of the responses that we've made to make sure that our drivers are looking out for pedestrians and making sure that they remain safe. And I can't impart how important it is for us to make sure that our children are watching even if they have the walk signal before they cross the street, and for our drivers to make sure they're looking out for people that are crossing the street, especially when it's dark outside. Standing here in front of Seneca Valley High School and wanted to talk to you a little bit about our education budget. We were fortunate enough to fund our school system at the maintenance of effort level, which allowed for them to do a number of different things, including give additional resources to teachers, as well as increase the number of guidance counselors and paraeducators, all things that our community said were extremely important to our school system. One of the things I'm extremely proud of that we were also able to achieve is to increase our number of school resource officers by an additional 6. That would mean that schools like Seneca Valley behind me would actually get their own school resource officer, which means that better relationships between that officer and those students can stave off a number of the unfortunate incidents that you time to time hear about in our news media. And so I'm really, really excited about the progress that we've made. But of course, one of the things that you have heard about is our achievement gap. And so in working to fix our achievement gap, a number of different innovative resources have come about, one of which is our ACES program. And the ACES program works in conjunction with MCPS and Montgomery College to help students, as far as the remediation effort goes, to make sure that there's a smooth transition between any of the subjects that they might not have been strong in and their transition to Montgomery College and acquiring their 2-year degree. I think as we continue to innovate in our school system and make sure that we're being supportive of that as a council and as a county, we can continue to make strides in ensuring that we are eliminating our achievement gap. So I'm standing outside of Rockville Memorial Library to talk to you about our library budget. It's phenomenal what we've been able to do over the past couple of years, being that we've had a really difficult time in funding our libraries. This year represented a 10.5% increase in our library budget. And in addition, the council added an additional $100,000 for our ebooks, something that's very new and innovative when it comes to making sure that for our new generation, that they can utilize a new form of technology to still incorporate all of the great knowledge that's behind me in our library system. And so it's an exciting time as the council lead for libraries to see us starting to build back up our libraries, and I hope we continue to do so in the many years to come.